Set.
Okay, so hello everybody. Thank you for joining SUMO Community Call. This is our first community meeting for the year 2021. I hope everyone is feel excited and like fired up for the new year. I personally feel like I would say like hopeful, although not like I'm trying not to really keep my hope high. Like I'm not trying to expect much, but I'm still trying to be hopeful. Um, so yeah, I'd like to remind everybody here again, as usual, to add your name in the wiki page if you haven't done so. If you're watching this from Air Mozilla or from YouTube, or if you're here in this Zoom room but you haven't added your name, please do so. So we know that you're participating in this discussion. And then for the first agenda for today, I have lots and lots and lots of shout outs. I feel like the beginning of the year is a perfect time to kind of like, um, like take a step back and thank all of these contributors and all of you basically who have been doing a very amazing work throughout the years, and not only for the past year, but like probably like there are a few contributors who have been contributing like for more than a decade long, I believe. So thank you so much. I'd like to verbalize a few. So the first one is for Alum here, Monitor Alum, and then Andrew, Christoph, Theme, and Kayo. Kayo is a kind of like new contributors. Like he's very excited to start in the social support program. So thank you so much. Like I've seen the statistic for January this year, and there are around like 500 conversations that those people tackle throughout January. So thank you so much. And then the second, I'd like to thank a few veteran kind of like contributors inside the forum. So Fred, like Coral, Azavawas, Jefferson, and Paul over here for being the top contributors in the forum. Um, I believe like there are more, but I just choose five because, well, I can really verbalize everyone. Otherwise, this meeting will be super long and I will lose my voice. Um, so yeah, and next we have a few names from the localization team. Mark, and then artists, Ihor, Jim, and Michele for being amazing contributors and localize these support articles for various locales. Mark here is I believe is translating into Dutch, who's been abandoned for a while. So thank you so much for picking up the work. And like the other localizers who I don't have a chance to mention here. And then next we have KB articles contributor versus Alice, Wayne, Thomas, Marcelo, in again Michele. Thank you for helping to refine or support articles to improve them to be better and provide like better guidance for our users in general. And then last but not least, we have Andrew as well as Christoph again um, for their help on the Respond tool, for helping us with the Play Store reviews. And yeah, thank you so much. Although there are lots of limitation on the tool, but thank you for sticking along and keep contributing. It really means a lot to Mozilla, especially to our Sumo team. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Um, cool. Moving on to the next one, we have topic of the week. I think I'm just going to touch this very briefly. So there's an experiment that we're doing with the Play Store support right now. as you know, we're using the Respond tool currently for replying to Play Store reviews from our users on Firefox for Android. But there are lots of limitation in the tool that we don't really have resources to kind of like improve it right now. So there has been a discussion to use another tool that we have, which is also capable on like doing Play Store support. Like we can use the tool to reply to Play Store support reviews, which is Conversocial, that which is a tool that we have been using for social support program already. So I personally very excited about this tool because it has lots of feature. It's very easy to tweak. We're gonna also set up a kind of like different access level very easily inside the tool. So I'm very excited for this. I already have one volunteer here, Paul, who is like agree to kind of like try the tool and see, because he's also knows a lot on Respond tool. So I'd like to get a few feedbacks from you all. So if you're excited or like interested to also participate in the experiment to see how it looks like, to get a sense of the features and just to get a first impression of the tool, just let me know and I can get you an account there. I also already set up the kind of like access for this especially, and like some of you probably already have an account there, but since I kind of like set up a different access for this experiment, you need to let me know so I can give you access also to the queue that I have prepared for this experiment. So yeah, that's from me. I'm gonna pause here to see if there's any question about this experiment.
I just
Oh,
wanted to
Jason, you want
quickly
to add
chime
something?
in. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to share one of the things that's most exciting to me for using Conversocial is the fact that it's not limited to only low reviews. It's not limited to just the 1 and 2 star reviews. You'll see
Mm-hmm.
every type of review coming in, and with this new capability, I think it'll be really exciting because we can respond to all types of reviews. So even if it's a 5-star review, we'll encourage you to engage with people who are really enjoying the product and kind of celebrate with them and saying like thank you for using Firefox, or like we're glad that you're enjoying the update, or whatever the case might be. Another thing that's really nice is that we can see when people change their reviews and update their reviews, and so
Mm-hmm.
it will be possible to kind of see some of the results of the hard work. With Respond, we could never see like, did my response make a difference? Like, did that person end up changing their rating? And we'll be able to see that
Mm-hmm.
in Conversocial. So hopefully that will be, an exciting kind of difference, and hopefully a nice motivator for people to kind of see the results of their efforts and keep going with it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for adding that. That's definitely like makes Paul smile when I see when I show him that Cover Social is able to do that.
Yeah, I think for me, I think there's been a couple of incidents recently where we've had to um, essentially, when it's done too crude, to wade through sewage. We've had to deal with a lot of responses which we've had to respond to because they want to respond, and if we don't, they cycle around. But with this tool,
Yeah.
for the stuff which is completely off topic, it's got nothing to do with somebody having an issue with the product or having a concern or a question, we can just essentially walk past those reviews and focus on um, the genuine support cases. Um, and maybe there's an element to this which comes down to an internal sort of process and way in which we use the tool, but we can almost run it almost like the forum, there's a possibility to have a conversation with a user, whereas respond was almost fire and forget. You had to put the answer down and that was it. But if somebody came back with feedback and more information, I mean, sure, the form is possibly better set up to do that, but we've just got a bit more capability there. And so when we do have significant volume through, we have got the ability around a negative incident that's got nothing to do with the product. It's not as concerning from a workload perspective, and that should be more welcoming to other contributors to get involved and to get involved with the tool.
Yeah, it's amazing that we finally get a chance to get the ability to filter the stuff that we needed to reply, which we didn't have from Respond tool. So I'm personally excited about that too. So if there's no more question, we can move on to the next section. This is kind of like a new section that I created when I think about like maybe we need to start, start something new for this year, which is a section that I called as Mozilla's World Update, because I believe that although product updates are important for us, but we also need to know about what's happening around Mozilla, although it's probably not necessarily relates to product. Like our community is like probably the most public facing community among the others, and like there are lots of people ask questions to us. So I believe like having a chance to get to know the other stuff that are going on inside Mozilla will also help us to like get more insight and be able to answer those questions that we receive in various areas in SUMO. So with that, the first topic in this new section is going to be presented by Paul, who's, I believe Tim is going to also help on the FOSDEM part. So Paul, if you're gonna take it away for me.
Yeah, sure. So every year for almost the last 10 years, Mozilla has hosted a festival, which it calls the Mozilla Festival, which really took a lot of time over the name. For the last 9 years, that's been in London, and I've been very fortunate to be one of the volunteers that have been mad enough to help organise it. This time round, in March, for 2 weeks, it's going to be a virtual conference. Early bird tickets are on sale right now. It's a festival which, unlike other tech events, it's not about promoting Firefox or products. It really is about the Mozilla mission. It's about the foundation, the work the foundation does to make the internet a better place. Everything from technical security topics to Linux distributions, to diversity online, to sustainability, a whole swathe of topics. Lots of sessions that's still being worked on right now, trying to get the schedule sorted out, but it's all to do with participation as well. So you're not just attending to listen to a video call, you'll be able to contribute to ideas, add to the discussion, come away with projects that you might want to work on or follow up on afterwards. It's an amazing event to be part of. There is so much going on there. There is a link in the wiki. I recommend people check it out. But yeah, so 2 weeks in March. We've got a lot of programming that we're still trying to figure out how to fit it all in. But certainly from the events I've been fortunate enough to attend in the real world, it's certainly an event which I'd look forward to. I'd recommend people to have a look at. The other event, and I will pass this across to Tim, is FOSDEM, which is coming up in just over a week's time. It's one of the world's biggest tech events. It looks very understated on the website, and if you were to write out how it's organized, you'd think it's quite a small event, but it's an amazing, huge open source software event. And I'm going to hand across to Tim to explain a bit more of the finer detail of it. You know, Tim? Okay.
Sorry, my internet connection is really unstable, so I don't hear everything.
Yeah. Just talking about FOSDEM this year.
Yeah, this FOSDEM this year will be also totally online. Mozilla has a dev room there with a few nice talks you can follow. In the real life, the FOSDEM was, like Paul said, one of the biggest events in Europe, and something you needed to attend. Open source community vibing. How do you say that in English? It's an experience for a lifetime. This year, yeah, we all know why. It's totally online. There will be also a matrix room connected to the dev room where we can meet during that weekend. And the exact details of the program you can find on the FOSDEM site, linked in the wiki.
Yeah, I see that we kind of like have, I think, like less sessions for this FOSDEM, but I was wondering if also it's generally there are not so many sessions as usual.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got fewer sessions in the Mozilla room. But say from my experience, being fortunate to go to a FOSDEM, is that the Mozilla presence there, although say normally we have a stand and we have the room, this year we've just got the room, if you like, the presentation space. But the no, we're standing right next to some seriously big names in the open source world there. And certainly from my experience at the stand a couple of years ago, the doors opened and people just flooded towards the Mozilla table. They recognize the brand, they want to speak to people in a good way, in a positive way. And it was a great experience being a member of the SUMO team there, because I did find myself helping a few people with I think it was Firefox Focus, people had some questions, right? But no, it's an amazing experience to be part of. And it is a mixture of people from all over the world. You'll be standing outside getting some fries with people from all sorts of countries, all being brought together, all working together.
And the nice thing is, normally when it's physical in Brussels, Mozilla don't only have a dev room with really nice talks, and they are really popular. Like they are really, the room is full every talk. But we also have a booth where we talk with lots of people, and the general public is more tech heavy than say our general users. So the discussions are really nice, and you hear things there what people think about our products and ideas, and it's amazing experience, and people like it that we are there, and they expect us to be there. That's really.
Yeah, I remember when we had the last all hands in Berlin. I think like the next week after that, like some people fly to Brussels directly because they need to attend FOSDEM. So it was pretty interesting to see that, like, they're kind of like still pretty excited to go, even though they just had a company all hands for like a week before. So yeah, definitely. I think I still see kind of like the excitement about FOSDEM, although it's now online. But better online than nothing. So yeah, excited to also check out the schedule if you plan to attend. FOSDEM, you can check the link to see the schedule in the wiki page that Tim and Paul has a link there. Okay. Is there any more question about MOSFET and FOSDEM before we move on to the next topic? Or maybe you want to add something else. Maybe there's another event that we aren't aware of. No? Okay. So next we have a really great update from the Common Voice project. So in the past, Common Voice was kind of like managed under Open Innovation team. But then when we had to restructure inside the org, there has been a conversation about moving Common Voice project to MOFO. And now that plan is finally fully realized, and now Common Voice project is under the stewardship of MOFO or Mozilla Foundation. So it is a good news. I am personally feel positive about it. I hope that with this change, Common Voice will be able to sustain in the future. And I believe there are also like open a few positions. They're looking for a few roles to support the project. So if you kind of interested to get to know more about that, there's a link on the announcement that they're doing in discourse. So the link will take you to discourse discussion. Yeah, so click the link if you want to know more about Common Voice updates. And then similarly to that, there's Open Web Docs, which is a pretty new kind of like organization that like I think it's a collaboration of a few other like folks, not only from Mozilla, but also from I believe like Samsung technology as well as Google and some other things that been like working with the MDN team. So basically, Open Web Docs is a new organization that will kind of like I will say will be new home, but not really because Mozilla is still also sponsoring or in a way to support MDN. But Open Web Docs is going to be also helping Mozilla to support MDN moving forward. And the link will take you to their Open Collective page where you can support the initiative by donating like one-time donation, or you can also be a regular baker or even become a sponsor to the project. So make sure to check out the link if you're interested on this project. I'm also personally very excited about this because I know that the MDN team has been looking for a way to sustain the project. So this is good news for them. And yeah, I just hope that this will make MDN to be in a better position moving forward. Cool. I'm gonna pause here to see if there's any question because the next topic will be quite different. No. Okay. Next we have it's some kind of like Mozilla sustainability program or kind of thing. So there's a link to the blog post from Kathleen Berger. So Kathleen, if you know her, she used to work closely with Michelle Baker in the past when Michelle was chairwoman, and now she's leading this initiative for basically an initiative from Mozilla to kind of like take action towards climate change. So I think we've been working on this project. We've been starting this project for about like 2 years now. And this climate commitment is basically our, I think the first kind of like public commitment that we sharing publicly. But like I think last year we've been doing assessment to our carbon footprints and stuff like that, and also doing benchmark with other organization as well. And now we're sharing the climate commitment or climate commitment publicly. So if you're interested on this topic, you can learn more about this kind of like initiative or program from the blog post that Kathleen has written there. And then last but not least, I have a very cute Fox Twitter thread just for fun. So brace yourself for tons of cuteness when you click that link. I just found this a few days ago, so I was thinking that it's fun to also include it here. So enjoy the Fox pictures there. Before we move on to the product updates, which will be carried on by JR here. JR, so what's going on in Firefox 85?
Yeah, I just opened that Fox's link and it was adorable already. There was like 3 pictures right at the top. So
Exactly.
I have to recover from that for a hot second. But yeah, let's talk about releases. So everybody is aware of at this point that on the 26th we had Firefox for 85 for desktop come out. We also had the Phoenix 85 release that got delayed a little bit because there were some issues getting it finally stood up, but I believe that they have those resolved at this point, and the Phoenix version of it, Firefox for Android 85 is also up as well. Some of the things to keep track of or keep in mind for these releases is that we fully rolled out the modernized print UI. There was a lot of work around that over the last couple of releases to update the print UI and make it a little bit better. And at this point with 85, it's fully rolled out to 100% of users. So that's good to know, but also like if you guys are seeing questions about it or issues with it, that's, you know, point to call out for us to bring back to that product team and let them know. Something else that to recognize here is officially Flash ended, is the Flash end of life. So in 85, officially, we're no longer supporting Flash. You know, people may have various opinions on that, but in general, I'm going to assume that it's mostly positive because there's better things to use out there instead of Flash at this point. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. And then another thing that happened recently was a bookmarks update, which I'm sure several of you have seen, potentially some questions, comments, concerns about it. It was a small change where they pushed the other bookmarks option into the bookmarks toolbar. Obviously, whenever there's change on the website, there's going to be some people that are a little bit upset with it, and just because they want their original view and don't like change, but that's okay. There hasn't been too much to say about it. It hasn't been a huge amount of people that are actively combating it, but there was enough, you know, I guess, hesitance with that change that we saw a couple articles from various tech sites pop up around it. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then another thing which Kiki has put below, we have a knowledge base article. I think Alice helped work on it to make sure people understood how to get the original view back to remove that other bookmarks from the toolbar. So if you don't know how to do that, you can do that there. Yeah, so outside of that, under Firefox 85, you see that super cookies option there. That's a security update that went in that is basically enabling Firefox to now partition the network connection and caches by the websites being used. So those who are unfamiliar, cookies obviously track your personal information in order to, you know, later on have that information available for people to send you ads. Super cookies is something that happens that takes cookies to the next level. They're objectively really hard to remove the tracking for on certain sites, and so Mozilla or Firefox and Mozilla have come up with this way at this point to actually get around that. So this new security update kind of moves around this super cookies and gives you an additional layer of protection against that, you know, personal information tracking that a lot of third-party sites and other sites try to do. So that's a really good security update. I don't think it was, there is a blog post for it, but I don't know how many people know about it, but it's a good thing to know about. And outside of that, there is a settings design update that's coming out recently. And if you go to your Firefox accounts page, you'll see at the top for most users or for some users, there's a switch to the new design button that'll give you a view of the new UI designs that they're planning for that Firefox account setting page. I don't think it's been released to 100% of users at this point, so it might just be a small subset that has that button to check out the new view. But that's getting finalized in the upcoming weeks. So we should start hearing about this changeover to the new UI design of the settings page fairly soon. Outside of that, we're doing pretty good. The Mozilla VPN 2.0 launch came out. So we launched to the Linux and to Mac users, and that's been going well. Yeah, nothing major has come up from that. So nothing too much to stand out. And I think that's kind of the end of the updates for this community meeting. And they're light just because over the break that we had over winter and the holidays, there's a lot of engineers off, PMs off and stuff like that. So purposefully light on this update because we didn't want to break anything in the middle of a holiday. So we should have some more juicy stuff in the upcoming releases. But that's it for me.
Just to add on the super cookies part, so I've been reading the Reddit thread, and there seems to be some confusion about whether this feature is tied to ETP or not. And the short answer to that is actually yes. So super cookies blocker, like the new super cookies blocker feature that were rolled out in Firefox 85 is actually part of ETP. And the team is, I think the comp team is working on a follow-up announcement to that, to clarify that to publicly. So I'll be sharing that link if it's published already, but right now I think they're still working on the announcement. Yeah, keep that in mind when the user reach out to you. Okay.
One last thing before we move on that I forgot to do, which I should have done, is I just want to do a call out to the community members who are working on the forum or potentially in the knowledge base. Something I want to try doing regularly is when we do have a new release, making myself very available on maybe Matrix or Slack or within the forum itself for you guys to send me messages about recurring or common trends or tickets that you're seeing. So if you're working on the forum and you will go through a couple cases or a couple questions and you see that maybe there's a common thread with a specific issue running into an issue or a specific platform, I would encourage you to reach out to me through one of those channels and just make me aware of it. I do like tracking this stuff and trying to bring it to the attention of the product managers. And if we know about enough of a recurring issue, then that's something that's very valuable that they would like to hear about. So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to reach out to me or Kiki or Justin, anybody that's available in those channels, and let us know if you do see anything.
Yeah, Justin and Jar have been using pop-up in metrics lately, so please say hi if you haven't know. Maybe maybe we can kind of introduce the account in metrics so you know that these are Justin and these are Jar. But yeah, we can do that later. Cool. Before we close the meeting, we still have a few minutes left. So I wonder if there's any more question or if you want to say something, doesn't have to be a question. If you want to share updates from your local community, you can do so. Or if you want to share more Fox picture, I would love to see that.
I could add something. I realize I need access to the wiki so I can add items. But something on the product releases front is that for Pocket, we just launched a new version of our web client. So if you use Pocket, I encourage you to give it a try. It looks very similar, but a lot of the web client has been completely rewritten. It's built on a new backend that the team has been working on for the last year. Yeah, it's really nice improvements were included in this release. A couple notable ones are a more condensed version of list view, The last time we released the product, or we released the web kind of UI refresh, the list view was kind of there was bulky. It was a lot of white space. It didn't really give you a lot of information all on one screen. And this update condenses that view dramatically. And then another nice change, which is a brand new feature that we haven't had before, which is a way to visualize your tags in a different way and pin them to the sidebar. So before you would just see all of your tags in the sidebar. And if you're a heavy tags user, you would just scroll and scroll and scroll. But now you can pin your most important tags to the sidebar so you can access them easily. So yeah, really great response thus far from the Pocket user base. There are a couple issues and things that we're working out, but yeah, really excited to push this live. And now that we're on this new code base, hopefully we'll have more rapid updates this year.
Thank you for the Pocket update, Justin. That kind of got me thinking about like maybe we should invite or maybe you can do the updates more regularly here, or maybe we can invite also Olivia here. Yeah, just thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have more regular updates, and and I'd love to have more folks on the team join, like Olivia and others. So yeah, hopefully we'll see that this year.
Okay, if there's no more question, then I think this will wrap up our meeting for today. I'd like to thank all of you to make the time to attend this meeting. From the other thing that you can do, especially Paul during his holiday. Thank you so much for making the time to share MozFace updates. And coming up next week, we'll have Madalena, who is going to talk about platform update. So please prepare some hard question for the platform team. If you have, just brace yourself, and yeah, we'll see you in the next 4 weeks.
See you guys. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.